And now the latest breaking eyewitness news with Jerry Dunphy, Christine Lund, Ed Arnold for Ted Dawson with sports, Johnny Mountain with the weather, and the Eyewitness News team.
Horror movie opened tonight in Hollywood officially and all over the Los Angeles area. There's a lot of controversy over this one, which is why we're paying attention to it. Feminists in particular have said that this is a film that promotes harm to women. Ann Martin has more on it right now. Ann.
Christine, the movie is Maniac, and the billboards themselves are pretty gruesome. Moviegoers tonight told me the plot is a man who hated his mother goes out and kills women. Besides the billboard, the picture is also advertising as the movie the LA Times wouldn't run ads for. Now President Eleanor Smeal had this reaction to the billboard.
All I can say is that when you talk about violence towards women and brutality, this just typifies it, and I think that it is shocking, and it contributes to the injury of women.
Tonight I asked moviegoers who had just seen the film if they thought it was potentially injurious to women.
Yeah, I'm going to be scared to walk out at night, really, now.
Do you think it was unfair to women?
Yeah, I did.
How about you? What did you think of it?
I think it was a sick movie. It was kind of stupid, you know, but it wasn't as scary as I planned it to be, like other movies I've seen, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that.
Would you think that a movie like that would inspire violence toward women?
Yeah, I think some guys might have ideas watching this, you know, if they're sick-minded coming in here, and you never know.
Two young men who were about to see Maniac said movies are fiction. It's real life that's scary.
It bothers you to see some guy like Whitaker, for instance, who's convicted of doing torture and murder on young girls, but it doesn't bother you to see them?
Well, no, not really, because in the movie, well, it's just a movie. It's fiction, but in Whitaker's case, that's true. It freaks me out a little.
This doesn't give you nightmares?
No, not
If you
at all.
were a young woman, do you think it might?
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't be seeing it if I was a young woman.
So far, the movie management there told me the movie is doing a fair business. This was its first day.
This is Metro News with Charles Rowe, Gil Stratton, and the entire Metro News team.
Into another controversy tonight, this time the advertising for a newly released horror film. And as Channel 11's Judy Bloom reports, the battleground is a billboard.
This visually violent and sexually explicit poster for a new movie called Maniac is arousing a great deal of anger within the women's community in Los Angeles. They say that posters like this one contribute to violence against women.
This is not, unfortunately, terribly unusual. This is violence. This is brutality. This is something that we subjugate people to almost daily.
When one of the offensive billboards for the movie appeared on the property of the R&B Custom Shop in West Hollywood, the owner became so infuriated she decided to take matters into her own hands. With the help of her colleagues, white paint, and a roller, this mother of two young children made the Maniac advertisement disappear.
I'm sitting in my office all day long, and it just faces me, stares at me into the window, and I just can't take this. I think it's sick, it's perverted, and I just want to stop things like that.
I think that was absolutely the thing to do. Because what children see is what they think about. What they think about is what they do.
I think it's ugly. I think it forces violence.
Both the billboard and the movie companies were unavailable for comment. From West Hollywood, this is Judy Bloom.
Good evening again, everyone. The hounds of censorship are off and running again, and this time the target is those blood and guts movies that count on screams to bring in dollars. This past weekend, 3 Los Angeles television stations refused to carry commercials for Brian De Palma's Dress to Kill except during restricted time periods. The so-called offensive scenes showed Michael Caine dressed as a woman about to attack Angie Dickinson with a razor. But what is causing an even greater furor is the Los Angeles Times' refusal to carry any advertising for a film called Maniac. The Times states, and we quote, "The film has no socially redeeming value whatsoever, and it is our duty to the community we serve not to encourage even indirectly such violence," end quote. This response has Maniac director William Lustig furious. He calls it censorship and has found support within the community from actors Roy Scheider and Stacy Keach, producer Bruce Gilbert of 9 to 5, and director William Friedkin of The Exorcist. They all sent telegrams to the Times protesting its action. Yet this kind of censorship seems almost inevitable considering the flow of blood and guts films, which has glutted the marketplace in recent years. While it is possible to argue the artistic merit of films such as Psycho and The Exorcist, a new breed of shriek merchants has exploited the once honorable genre of the terror film. Most followers of this genre point to a 1978 film called Halloween as the vehicle which opened the bloody floodgates at the box office. This critically acclaimed movie, directed by John Carpenter, grossed more than $50 million since its release. But unfortunately, it has spawned a host of imitations bearing such gruesome titles as Blood Beach and My Bloody Valentine. And now virtually not a week goes by without another scare movie making its appearance. Such popularity raises one important question. What is the appeal of these films? Studies have shown that the primary audience for these movies are thrill-seeking teenagers and minority groups. Maniac director Bill Lustig says white middle-class America is staying home from theaters except for special events like The Empire Strikes Back, and is instead watching movies on cable TV, leaving the local theaters to blacks, Latinos, and other minorities without the financial resources to tap into the home video market. Why do horror films appeal to minority groups? Well, Lustig says it's because the movies rely heavily on visual impact, and therefore language is not a problem. But many parents and civic groups see these films in a more sinister light, calling them the new pornography. And certainly films with exploitative titles like Blood-Sucking Freaks are hard to defend, although in most cases the titles are more lurid than the movies themselves. However, the fascination with freakiness may be fading. At a recent preview of Friday the 13th Part 2 at a Hollywood Boulevard theater, the audience openly booed this particular coming attraction. This could mean the issue of censorship will take care of itself in a free marketplace where the audience chooses what it wants to see and therefore, in its own way, dictates what gets made. This is certainly preferable to local, state, or federal censorship, which a very vocal portion of this country is now supporting. And tomorrow, Coast to Coast will continue after these messages.